increase, according to over half of the accounting for over half of the rise. Additionally, shelter index continued to advance, making the 40th consecutive month increase. The energy index as a whole rose 5.6%. Now, what's interesting about this, and I brought this up on the hot sheet, is that just last week, the Biden administration had approved a few gas leases, and people got upset about that. So then they turned around and shut down all of the oil and gas leases in Alaska. So if you're figuring that the majority of this CPI is gasoline, and we're not renewing leases, we're not doing leases, this isn't political at all, but that's not good for bringing down the reason why we're driving inflation up. That was your cue to step in.
I was waiting for you to share, man. Share.
Yeah, I'm reading off my hot sheet right here. Sorry. The other thing is core inflation. The index for all items less food and energy rose by 0.03% in August. The core inflation measure increased for categories like rent, motor vehicle insurance, Medicare, and personal care, while some, like lodging away from home, actually decreased. So we actually saw a decrease. People weren't traveling as much because gas was so expensive. So the big question here is what happens with the Fed next, like in a week, right?
Yeah. And I guess I want to see some comments. How many people are traveling? Are people traveling more or less? If you're here watching the comments, let me know.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are assuming that rates are going to be at 9%. And this is one of those things I was talking about on the hot sheet this morning is, I was speaking to a bunch of realtors, but I said, for everybody's clients that are looking to buy right now, and they're looking at 7.25 is the interest rate right now as of today. 7.25. I looked at the 10-year treasury, which is where really we follow for mortgage rates. And the 10-year treasury hung tight today. It did not go anywhere. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that if we look at the stock market, the futures saw that this was going to hit and the futures dropped. So maybe people weren't buying as much in the bond market. I would imagine people would have probably put more of their money in the bond market. That would make more sense. But Aaron says he's traveling less. Yeah. Sorry not to pull up as many slides. I just really wanted to get into it. So, no, I don't want to do a video. But yeah, for you on the other side of the screen here, right? I can't see you. You could see me. Looking at August, did it feel like it was the 40th month of core inflation going up and not coming down? Did it feel like core goods, notable goods like foods went up a little bit, not a lot. It was up 0.6%, but food went up. Core inflation is at 3.7%. So annual inflation over 12 months ending in August, all the item index increased by 3.7%, higher than the 3.2% increase for the 12-month ending in July. So it went up, and that's not good. So the question then is, do they raise rates again?
Well, if you look at what Aaron says, he thinks it's going up 3 more times this year, 3 more hikes.
Yeah. I mean, that's scary to think, but it's probable.
Well, so if we go back to what David Tandy was saying about, so he was the CEO of TNT Title, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He gave an economic report a couple of weeks back that Jeremy and I had hosted. He was saying that some of these companies need to start shedding the fat when it comes to jobs. Have we seen anything like that happen in the last couple of weeks?
I haven't seen a lot of layoffs, but we've been talking to people that have been laying off or, tightening the belt. A lot of realtors are tightening the belt as well.
Yep.
So before we talk about, I really want to get to that though, are they going to raise rates? Because there's some information there, and everybody's kind of, if rates go up, that means that we'll probably see more slowing, but nationally, we still don't have a lot of inventory. So it's just going to put more price pressure on people looking to buy. It would be great if rates came down. In fact, I felt like 3 weeks ago, we were looking at all of these reports saying that the end of the year was going to be 6%, 6.5%. All of these analytic companies, Black Knight, everybody was saying that rates are going to be down at 6.5%. And so I'm sitting over here going, yeah, I think they're going to be at 6.5%. That's consensus. But when you look at the fact that inflation was so bad last year that household income tumbled the most in 12 years, causing families severe economic pain. Like, that ain't good, man. I got the article right here.
It's not.
Let me jump on this one. You know what I need? I need to hire somebody to sit behind the scenes and just open tabs for me. You know what I'm saying? That would be like. So here it is. So inflation was so bad last year that the real household income tumbled the most in 12 years, causing families severe economic pain. The median income last year was around 74,000 compared to 76,000 in 2021. Here's what's really important. The 2.3% drop in incomes, which was the most since 2010, marked the third straight annual decline, which has been a feature of past recessions like the global financial crisis, the dot-com bubble, and the downturn in the early 1990s. Last year, American families faced the largest annual increase in the cost of living adjacent in over 4 decades. Ian, I saw on Fox News. It's not Fox News this morning on what is it? KView, Fox 5 or KView, whatever, that this year or this month going into fuel costs that Austin Energy is going to raise rates again.
Well, that's exciting. That's exactly what we want to hear.
Exactly. Aaron says, don't let the rate stop you. Oh, he said that.
Now, so just so I'm clear, that's Austin Energy, which is for homes in Austin proper. But if you're just outside in the suburb, there's a probability that you're in an deregulated zone. Do you think it'll still hit them?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to hit them in some way or the other. If Austin Energy is raising their prices, everybody else is going to probably follow suit. I mean, like you can't.
Wouldn't it be nice if you had solar? That's what we were talking about earlier. Like, if you're going to be in the home, like Aaron was saying, for the next 13 years, this could be the time.
I'm going to still continue to pass on solar. I don't think so. Let's see. Stop screen. I wonder if there's a faster way to do this, to go between slides. So again, in the comments from everybody that's still here, I want to hear from you. What are you seeing? Obviously, no other real estate agents are going to be coming on a live stream at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday telling you that, hey, core inflation is going up, which means potentially we could see more rate hikes. So is this, I mean, if you're looking at more rate hikes, do you buy now? Do you wait? Prices come down, but when do interest rates come down? Can you refi later? That's all the questions a lot of people ask us. So one of the headlines on here from Market Watch was something that it was like the highest in 14 months. I think it was the CPI was the highest in 14 months. So for all the work that we've been trying to do with raising rates, it's not working. I mean, it's better. I mean, it's better than it was, but it's not working. It's funny. I was reading a few articles that were really hammering the Biden administration over this. And it was like notable. It was like CNBC. It was not, right-wing places, but they were hounding Bidenomics, saying Bidenomics is not working, and seeing the fact it was like, in Georgia, they announced that they're going to remove the gas tax because they have a gas tax in Georgia. They're going to temporarily remove it because gas prices are too high. Here's interesting too. Rents and housing make up shelter components of CPI and account for about 40% in the entire index. So rents didn't really go up. They went up about 0.02%. So rents are coming back up, probably to Aaron's point that he's probably going to make, that, that's why he's buying more investment properties.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Did we touch on vehicles yet? Vehicle purchases? I'm curious how many electric vehicles are being sold right now because of gas prices.
Right. And I there wasn't anything about that, but it said that not car sales, but the price of cars and trucks had dropped 2.1%. So of the decreases, the only things that really decreased significantly were people's travel to destination. So destination travel and car prices. And so I made a joke on the hot sheet. I was like, who bought a car last year and is now regretting that? That was me. Christina's here. Christina's here. Hey, fellas. You have to market this live stream in a catchy way. You have good content. I do. Yeah. Otherwise, if I said, hey, everything's great, then people don't watch. Aaron, see, this is the thing. So this is where I think people don't understand. Like, while you have people that are sitting on the sidelines because they they can't purchase, or they're waiting for prices to come down, or they're waiting for a crash. You have people like Aaron, who's a savvy investor, looking at everything going, I'm looking to buy. And on top of that, he's smart because he's called Ian to help him out. So, Christina, how are things looking for you? You put out a good video today, I believe. I started to watch it, but it's been a hectic day. Tell us about your video in the comments. So Christina Smallhorn, everybody, great channel, great person, puts out some great content. So good information there. Ian, I wanted to go over this. So we didn't answer the question. So everything I read on this about, are they going to raise rates the next time around? Everything I read said no. So even though we see this blip up, they're still going to hold tight this round, but they are expecting one more rate hike by the end of the year.
Right. So hold tight, not decrease, not increase. But there will be another one before the end of the year or just after. Right before the end of the year is what you're thinking?
Yeah. So, I mean, think about it. So when we think about the Fed fund rate and what it actually does, it doesn't actually affect mortgage rates like people think it does. But the Fed fund rate affects how banks transfer money back and forth. It affects how, if you're a small business owner and you're borrowing money from the bank, now you're borrowing at a much higher rate. So that Fed fund rate keeps going up. The money you're borrowing is costing that money is costing more money. So that's why, and really the pressure on that is so we have higher unemployment, right? The Fed is trying to cause companies and force companies to lay off people so we have more unemployment. They are, in effect, pushing recession. So everybody that thinks that there's no recession, there's going to be a soft landing. I mean, I really do think that there's still a recession coming. How bad it's going to be, how soft is the landing? That's always been the question. I think, if we're going to look at things in the market and be stressed about things, I'm more worried about a recession looming and what that would do for jobs and people losing their livelihoods. Super Kurt says that he saw Ian at Dave Chappelle's show. I should have said hi, but didn't want to bother him. Was he wearing the beret?
Said hi. You should have. Yeah. And I was wearing the beret.
Yeah.
The question is, what did you think of the show? But that's a comment.
Yeah. Ian said the show wasn't as good as he thought it would be. Right? Isn't that what you said?
I did say that.
Okay.
I was like, man,
I totally threw you under the bus.
Smoke too much or something.
Yeah. Aaron says he thinks you're in a recession. Now, Aaron, the problem is that whatever administration's in office is going to say, no, we're not in a recession. Don't smoke and mirrors.
It's so funny you say that. When we were talking to Byron just a little bit ago, he was just talking about how every agent, every person is following these headlines, and all the headlines are just erratic. They're all over the place. You don't know what to follow. They change every day. So yeah, smoke and mirrors is a good way to put it.
Well, and then I read a lot of, so I read through all the CPI index stuff, and then I read a lot of the articles. Look, it's not as bad as it was. Like, no, it's bad because gas went up a lot and you closed down leases. So that's not good. It's not good at all. Anyway, so I don't think the Fed fund is going to raise the next time. I could be wrong, but I do see another raise that could cause people to go buy more treasury bonds, more of the 10-year, causing interest rates to go up. So for all the talk that we've bloviated in the past, or I bloviated that I think interest rates are going to be at 6 to 6.5%, I'm starting to look like I could be wrong. I also did say, Ian, that we could still end 2023 positive year over year since we ended at 525. Now, the Austin numbers haven't come out yet. It's the 13th. They'll probably come out Friday. Yeah. So still not, Aaron says, still not a technical recession. We have white collar jobs being lost left and right. Very true. But lots of low paying jobs. Those low paying jobs still increase the GDP. Well, that goes exactly back to what we were talking about. We saw people's income drop $2,000, right? From 76,000 to 73,000, something around there, 74. So that is a interest. So one thing about this, Ian, if people are trying to buy, they're looking for alternative ways to buy right now. And one thing that's starting to creep up is a lot of people, in fact, people asked last week on the show was, can I do an assumable loan?
Assumable, yes.
So there's a real estate company out there that's starting to try to figure out assumable loans. And there's this article out by the Wall Street Journal. Oh, it's not going to let me open it because I put it in this tab. Give me a second. So I'm going to pull this article up. I was trying to find ways where it didn't have like the border on the top to show you other ways of buy. Aaron's looking at a 3-2-1 buy down. I think this is a pretty solid plan. You know what you're getting into. What a 3-2-1 buy down. Do you know what a 3-2-1 buy down is, Ian? You want to explain it while I pull up the article?
Yeah, I guess the best way to explain it is that you're locking in the rate. You're locking in a mortgage rate, and it staggers downward, hoping that you're hoping that the mortgage rate is going to lower over time. That's what you're banking on. Then the question is, do we think that's going to happen? And I think everyone is leaning toward yes. So It's not good to do something like that if you think that the rate is going to creep up.
Oh, I did that wrong. I'm losing it today, man. It's been a long day. We've done 3 interviews today, Ian?
At least that. We've done a lot of podcasts today.
Yeah. All right, that's the rich one, CPI one. Where did I lose it?
You're looking for Rome. The Rome Real Estate Group.
Yeah, I have it here, but for some reason it is not. So 3-2-1 buy down is definitely a decent way to go. I have a 10-1 on one of my loans. So, but it just takes you back to whatever the market rate was at the end of it. Oh, here we go. I got it right here. Perfect. Okay. I had it there the whole time.
And the important part is that on the third one, it should lock that rate in. But you also want to hope that you have a chance to refinance before then. Yeah.
So Aaron says it lets me bet that in 3 years the rates will be lower. And he says, and it's adjusts up 1% for 2.99, 3.99, 4.99% interest rate. So I think that's a smart way to go. I've had quite a few clients that are doing that as well. Okay, let me present this. Come on now. Are you rich? All right. So here's what we're talking about. I had it right here. So a 3% mortgage rate is in a 7% world. This startup says it can do that. So this brokerage that's starting up basically wants to try to get people to do assumable loans. And so there's a lot of people that have mortgages right now that are 2.5%, 3%. But when you think about assumable loans are loans that are backed by government agencies. So FHA loans, VA loans. And so so what they're saying is that if you, a buyer, want to come in and get an assumable loan, we find an FHA property that has assumable loan, you come in, give the seller a little bit of money, they walk away from it, the bank then converts that loan over to you, and then boom. It all sounds really, really great and easy in theory. This article kind of breaks down why it may not be the best way to go. It says, in theory, the idea sounds great, at least for discouraged home. Oh, God, dude, I'm dying. It's been such a long day.
I'm a little rough.
All right. Start again. In theory, the idea sounds great, at least for discouraged home hunters who can inherit a low rate loan. Sellers in turn might fetch higher prices for their homes. I don't know that they're necessarily going to get higher prices, but Rome's vision faces an uphill battle. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you got to think about what the seller is saying is that they'll give you their loan at, let's say it's a 2 or 3% rate. So that's what you're buying. So sellers think that they'd be able to charge you more, or you would pay more for the home because of that.
Right.
But you have to be careful because the amount of homes that can be assumed, so like VA is a great example. You can't just assume a VA loan unless you have VA eligibility yourself.
Well, right? And then if you assume a VA loan, the person that just gave up the VA loan can't go get a new VA loan right after that.
Correct. Unless it's within their limit, right?
Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Florida, I'm going to get to your thing in a second here. But Rome's vision faces an uphill battle. Loan assumptions haven't gained much traction recently, even though rates are up.
So
It's funny because they say this is partly to do that lenders don't want to deal with them because
was
they're
gonna
not, they don't
ask,
get enough money from them.
if they don't make enough money and there's no education around them, then I can see that being an issue. But this could be a really good opportunity for agents to share that with their clients, both buyers and sellers,
Yeah.
as an option. But also, like you said, there are a lot of limitations on it too.
Right. And so for those people that think they can just jump in and do an assumable loan, here's what it says. A loan assumption is different from a standard sale in which a buyer takes out a mortgage at the going rate from the seller and at the going rate to pay the seller. In that case, a seller uses the money to pay off his or her mortgage and pockets the rest. An assumable transaction doesn't replace an old mortgage with a new one, but instead transfer the old mortgage to the new owner. Again, you also have to qualify for that as well. The seller is relieved of the remaining mortgage liability, so the balance is subtracted from the purchase amount owed. The buyer can come up with cash to cover the rest. Now, this is where it gets tricky and why it's not going to make sense for a lot of people. So it says take a $500,000 house that is tied to assumable mortgage with a $300,000 balance. Even after the buyer assumes the mortgage, the buyer still needs to come up with $200,000 in this scenario. Unless the buyer can pay that amount, he or she will need to take on a second mortgage. So if they're doing like 100% financing on something like this, now you're back into the days of why people got in trouble back in 2008, 2007. They were doing 100% loans on a lot of properties. Rome says that it will recommend lenders to provide additional financing. It wouldn't specify which lenders it would be working with. And here's the thing. Rome got $1.25 million in seed funding to work this out. And people that are backing him are Open Door and some of these other places. So I mean, it sounds good in theory. If you're looking to do an assumable loan, there's a lot of pitfalls to it. If you can make it work, I think it's a great way to try to do it, but I don't think it's going to be for everybody. I think it's going to be not for a lot of people. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I think if you look at how much the seller would require down in order to allow you to take their mortgage from them, if you're talking FHA, how many people are going to be able to take 200,000 and put it down toward a house? Usually FHA is not quite so liberated.
Yeah. And this is one thing Aaron says too. People are missing the point on loans, though. You aren't thinking about amortization properly. Does the rate even matter? You pay most of the interest in the first 7 years. It is really about the payment.
Absolutely.
But let's see, with rates being that high and prices still being high, people are still forced with that. I don't know the answer to this question, really. Can you talk a bit about the cost of home concrete slabs? How much would you estimate they cost at a highly sloped lot versus a flat lot? I would imagine they cost a lot. Concrete's not cheap. So the more concrete you have to fill.
Yeah, because that's it. You're just filling it with more concrete. So based on the angle, right? If you're sloping like this, 45 degree, you have to have, what is it, a foot and a half on one side, on the lowest edge minimum. And then, I mean, depending on how far down you're going, you're filling in a lot of concrete. So I don't know, add 30 to 50%.
And two, they're probably backfilling a lot of that as well with just other dirt and sand. So I was
going to ask if there's any type of additional support that's needed, right? Yeah. All the extra rebar, you're not just getting concrete.
Well, yeah, they're backfilling with dirt. So that's not necessarily going to be the most secure foundation either if it's just backfilled with dirt in there as well. Like, you're going to need a lot of stabilization, rods, things in the ground to stabilize it.
Would they step it?
Yeah, they would tier it.
Yeah, they would do tiers instead of in it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. VK asks, any comment on Century Communities trying to sell 1,100 square foot homes for $400K? I think it's absolutely it's outrageous. What?
Oh, we'll see if they get away with it, right? It depends. So there are a couple factors. One of them, so it is in Round Rock, Avery Center. So Avery, my guess is that it's in the Brushy Creek school district. So they could push that. Is it gated? Is it a lock and leave community? Are they taking care of your lawns and all that sort of stuff? It's probably near the train station or getting close to. So I could see some people being able to justify that, but I think that's a little high right now. 1,100 square feet it's not a lot of house.
Yeah. All
And
right.
no
So
garage either for that, I'm sure.
he said no, it's in Round Rock.
Is it in West Round Rock though? East or west side?
I wouldn't do that. There's stuff on the market right now for 350, 375. There's stuff under
Oh, yeah.
400. What's the advantage? I guess from a consumer standpoint, VK, is this something you're considering buying? Right?
Yeah.
Is that why you're asking? Are you asking for free information? Because people ask for free information all the time. I try not to give it anymore. But are you looking to buy this neighborhood? It makes zero sense to me just because it's new. Like it makes zero sense.
East side.
Upper East Side end is 400K, 1,900 square foot. I would do that because, again, if you think about it, if you ever need to rent that property in the future, 1,900 square foot is going to rent a hell of a lot faster than 1,100 square foot will. Ian, how expensive is Austin?
Well, I think it depends on what you're comparing it to, because that's really the name of the game. Like based on your budget, based on what you're used to spending or where you're used to being.
You know, I hear a lot of people tell me that I'm moving to Denver, Colorado because Austin's too expensive. Cost of living's too expensive.
We're going there next week.
Yeah,
That's next week,
we're
right?
you and I are going to Colorado Springs.
Right. Well, I'm flying into Denver Monday, but that's
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I fly into Denver and then I have a connection. So let's ask the question then. What is full screen layout?
Are we asking ChatGPT? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Bloomberg.
We are going to Bloomberg. So would you feel richer if you made $100,000 a year? So I want you to, in the comment section, write different cities that you want to compare Austin to, because we are going to compare Austin to other cities and see, is it actually cheaper? Is it not? Location's kind of a prime spot, is what VK says. Well, if you want to waste your money, go ahead. All right. So let's look at this. So Bloomberg put out this really cool article, and actually I'm going to move us off to the side. There we go. Okay. So if you made $100,000 a year and you lived in Denver, Aurora, Lakewood, Colorado, your income is 13% more than your area's median in the bracket. But if you compare that to Austin, Texas, Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown, you would feel $9,200 richer if you moved from Denver, Colorado to Austin, Texas, with a overall cost of living 8.4% lower. So can you imagine that Colorado is a lot more expensive, or Denver is a lot more expensive? Let's try another one. Let's try, we're going to Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs. Let's see, Colorado Springs compared to Austin, your income is 32% more. You would feel $3,200 poorer if you move from Colorado Springs to Austin, Texas.
I'll tell you, I didn't expect that.
I didn't. Dan Cox says Denver is losing population now. And Aaron went and said that is not a prime spot. Prime location would be Circle C. I totally agree. San Francisco. Ian says San Francisco. What if you lived in the San Francisco Bay Area and you were like still looking at Austin, Texas? Is it cheaper to live in Austin? You would be 15% less than the median, which means that you are if you made $100,000 a year, you'd be $19,800 richer moving from San Francisco to Austin, Round Rock. Now, if you lived in San Francisco and you had a $2 million house, about a $2 million house in Austin, probably going to be different. Can you do Austin versus Houston, Austin versus Dallas? Aaron, those are wonderful questions. The answer is yes, absolutely.
Yes, we can.
All right. So let's start with, if you're going to move from Dallas to Austin, we could do this either way. It's just I already have Austin in the bottom. You would feel $3,900 richer if you moved from Dallas to Austin. Austin's cost of living is better than Dallas, Texas. Can you believe that or not?
I love that.
I
love that
it
for us.
because everybody that's talking about going to Dallas, it's cheaper. No, it is not, my friends.
Now, I will put a disclaimer in there that they're talking about the Austin Round Rock MSA, not Austin proper versus Dallas.
But they're also saying Dallas, Fort Worth, and
Right.
Arlington, Texas. So
right.
let's try Houston for my good friend, Aaron. Whoa. Houston, Texas.
I don't know what just happened there.
Okay. Your income is 37.8% more than your area's median, and you would feel $300 poorer if you moved from Houston to Austin. Pretty impressive.
Pretty
How
good.
about San Antonio? Great question, Brandon G. I'm right there with you. Is San Antonio cheaper than Austin? The answer is heck yeah, it is.
It's right over me.
Oh man. So yeah, you would feel $3,600 poorer if you moved from San Antonio to Austin. Let's try it the reverse and see if it's
You realize that's not that much of a difference,
well. I mean,
right? Between
Yeah.
San Antonio and Austin.
yeah, it's not that bad, but like that is $3,600 you wouldn't have in your pocket.
I mean,
Let's try
that's
Austin.
yeah. That's a month of gas if you have a big truck.
Yeah. Yeah, about roughly the same thing. You would feel $3,700 richer if you
See,
moved from Austin.
Dan
to-
Cox says, "Yeah, this can't be right. Houston is like dirt cheap." I think if you go 2 hours out of the main city and your tax rate, your property tax rate isn't 4%, then maybe.
Brandon says, I think I'll stay in San Antonio. I don't feel I like feeling poor. I'm with you, bro. because of Houston, food and real estate is way cheaper. Yeah, but you also have hurricanes there.
Yeah,
Something to
yeah.
think about.
So insurance is more,
And you got to live
right?
in Houston.
Yeah. So your gas prices are probably higher. Your insurance is higher. Those are important, and then your property tax rate's probably higher.
San Diego, Chula Vista to here's a good one. San Diego, Chula. I moved from Chula Vista. I love Chula Vista. It's nice. $19,000 richer if you moved from San Diego to San Antonio. Let's do Austin. I have clients, Ian. That moved from San Antonio or moved from San Diego
Yeah.
to. Why is it not pulling up Austin?
The reason why people feel like Austin is, or that why Houston is cheaper, is because it feels cheaper. It looks cheaper.
Yeah.
Everything about it is cheaper.
So you would be $15,000 richer if you moved from San Diego, Chula Vista to Austin. This is based on 100,000. If I move this to a lower amount, I'm sure it would feel different. Dan says RE is definitely cheaper, practically giving it away.
I don't know. Did you know right now you can get homes in Jarrell, right, which is just north of the Round Rock Georgetown border, for $270,000?
Yeah.
And we're talking like 4-bedroom houses, good sizes. So I don't know. I don't know about this Houston business, and it's not as, you won't have to drive as far as you do in Houston for the time you amount of time you'd have to wait in traffic.
Mm-hmm. You would feel $4,500 poorer, Ian, if you move from Nashville to Austin. That's impressive.
Yeah. There's like one thing to do in Nashville.
I mean, what is it? The hot chicken.
Yeah, yep. Eat.
It's a. Aaron says it takes.
Yep.
Yeah, Aaron says it takes 2 hours to get from Houston to Houston.
That's exactly it.
We did the Bay Area. Let's do Los Angeles. This is why everybody's still leaving Los Angeles for Austin. I have clients right now.
Now, you want to talk about low cost of living? El Paso. Great real estate, low cost of living, nothing to do. But if you're just worried about the price you're spending,
if you move from El Paso to Austin, you would definitely feel poorer. $6,900 worth poorer. Where's Los Angeles? Why isn't this pulling up? Why isn't Los Angeles pulling up? Oh, here we go. Found it.
yeah, the NerdWallet one's good too. Oh,
so you would feel, it's crazy that you would feel $13,000 richer moving from LA, Long Beach, Anaheim to Austin. Yeah, it was 19,000, or maybe it was 19,000 for San Antonio. I forgot. I feel like the NerdWallet one is better. Okay. Then DM it to me and bring it on so I can do it. All right, let's see. Let's do another one. Let's do, where people should be moving instead of Texas is Oklahoma. So let's look at Tulsa.
Oh, I don't know about all of that.
You would feel $8,000 poorer if you moved from Tulsa to Austin. So it's cheaper in Tulsa. How about that? What about
Yeah.
New York? New
You
York.
know, we've got to do an event in Broken Bow here soon, right?
We have one coming up.
No, we need to do one.
Oh. You would feel just as rich if you moved from LA or New York to Austin. 14,600.
That's good.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Who's all's in the chats? What up, Dan Cox? Good to see you, Brandon. We got throw us another one. Come on, we're not gonna
Do you have any in Canada?
Canada.
I put Toronto.
Calgary. Nope. Toronto.
And if not that, then we've got Atlanta. We've got Raleigh, North Carolina.
I don't even know how to spell Raleigh. I always spell it wrong.
R-A-L-E-I.
R-A-L or E-L?
Yep.
E-L.
R-A-L.
Jesus Christ. One more time.
R-A-L.
E-I-G-H? Yeah. I can never spell that city.
It's all good.
So you would feel $17,000 richer if you moved from New York to New Jersey. Wait.
No.
What the hell? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I did that wrong. My bad. Let's put that back to Austin.
Yeah.
Where are we talking? Raleigh.
Raleigh.
R-A-L-I-E. Oh. Yeah. There you go. So if you, wow, yeah. So Raleigh, I'm gonna go see Will Draper and buy a house over there, just to rent out. Somebody was telling me, Byron Lazine from our event was saying that the best untapped market that he thinks is still Charlotte. I don't know about that. You would feel $2,400 cheaper if you move from Raleigh, Curry to Austin, Round Rock. There you go.
To answer Aaron's question, it's when Reventure moved there.
Yeah, Reventure made Dallas more expensive. So if you're upset that it got more expensive, it's because Reventure went there and started renting instead of buying properties, and he's giving people financial advice. Pretty poor financial advice. But all right, give us another one. Come on. Where's the comments tonight? Everybody's dying tonight.
I said Atlanta, Georgia.
Is everybody hungover from football? What the heck is going on? Who's your team? Aaron, who's your team? I want to hear.
It's Wednesday night.
Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia to Austin, Texas. You would feel $900 poorer if you move from Atlanta to Austin. That's not bad.
That's really close. Man.
I could buy the Dallas stats. It's always been snooty.
I gotta start using that word more, snooty.
Aaron's a Texans fan. Did they win or lose? I can't remember. I don't have any Texan players on my fantasy team. Ian, how did your fantasy team? We're in a league together this year.
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, you lost?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Didn't mean to rub salt in the wound. Talking about football, who's going to win the Super Bowl this year? I want everybody to
the Texans.
I want everybody to write in the comments right now who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to write who I think will not win the Cowboys.
Oh, that's a good one. Madison, Wisconsin. I'm going there January.
49ers. Aaron, thank you. I'm a Niner fan. All right. Would you say Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah, that's a really good it's a good comparison to Austin.
M-A-D or M-A-D? Yeah, there we go. Got it. So Madison to Austin. You would feel $3,300 poorer moving from Madison to Austin on the same $100,000.
That's all right. Our weather's better. So what's the deal? Who's the girl that we had on? Was it Iowa or Idaho? And she was like, "It's booming."
Oh man, do we have an Idaho girl on?
It was either Iowa or Idaho, and it's like Boise. It was Boise.
Oh, Boise. Yeah, you're right. We had a Boise person on.
Yeah.
Boise, you would be $6,100 poorer if you move from Boise to Austin.
That one sounds pretty interesting just because of how excited she was to live in the Midwest.
Remember Anchorman, the Middle East? To live in the Middle Dude, it was so funny
That was
on the,
such a good movie. They
dude.
bombed
So
so bad on
so
the second one.
I did a hot sheet right and today, and Byron runs it, and so I go today on the hot sheet. CPI numbers come out. We're gonna go through them. Today is September 13th. I'm Byron Lazine. The hot sheet starts now.
That's good. That's good.
Oh, it's
Dan, we
fun,
can't
man.
do Salt Lake City. I'm not allowed there. There's like 3 of me.
You can't do Salt Lake City.
Do it anyway. Salt Lake City.
Why can't you do Salt Lake City?
Wow.
You would be $3,800 poorer if you moved from Salt Lake City to Austin, Texas. I went to Salt Lake. It was fine. Like I didn't. It was very snow colored there.
Well, that's my point, right?
Do you remember when Paris Hilton went around the country and tried to act poor? Yeah.
No. What?
Yeah.
Why?
You don't remember that?
No. Did you watch that? Like, was that a show?
No, dude, I didn't watch that, but apparently Aaron did.
Aaron's looking at reruns.
Yeah. What's the Nicole Richie was the girl she did with it. All right, let's pick another one. What about New Jersey? I have a lot of New Jersey.
No,
people.
that one came up with the New York
Oh,
one.
it did.
So there's the DC
What about
area.
Baltimore?
There's Boston.
Let's do Baltimore real quick. You would be richer if you moved from Baltimore to
Okay.
Austin. $5,000. Look at that. What was the one you just said? Boston.
Boston, yeah. That's
Our friends from Boston.
what?
You would be $9,700 richer moving from Boston with the same income. The annual costs less than $4,300.
I thought we did Seattle. Or I know I put Seattle up, but that one needs to be up there.
Seattle.
Portland and Seattle.
Ooh, before I show you,
Uh-oh.
I want you to guess in the comments right now. Do you think, what's the range? Okay, number one, do you think that Seattle is going to be cheaper or more expensive than Austin? And second, tiebreaker goes the closest number to it. We're going to do Seattle in a minute. I want the comments to feed. We'll do Seattle in a second because everybody compares Seattle and Austin together.
Yeah.
What about Bakersfield, California, the armpit of California?
I definitely think Seattle's going to be a little more.
Look at that. Bakersfield would be a better move to move from Bakersfield to Austin. And Bakersfield is a pile of not anything nice. What about Fresno?
Yeah, Chicago is obviously one we need to do.
I can't see the comments. Are they throwing stuff in there for Seattle?
Yeah, there's a few.
Okay, good. You would feel $1,600 richer. Dude, we need to do a full video. Bring all the Fresnoians here. I'm just kidding.
Fresnoians. Put
Fres-
Chicago in there. Let's see what we get.
Fresnonites. All right, let's do Chicago.
Chi-Town. What's up, Jacob?
You would be $5,400 richer if you move from Chicago to Austin, Texas. All right, let's see where we're at here.
That's good.
So you're saying Seattle's $2,400 more expensive. Philly, I heard is expensive. We'll do that one real quick. Seattle is 12% more expensive according to this calculator. More expensive. Seattle is 50% more expensive if you use NerdWallet. Wow. Dance is more expensive. All right.
You know what we haven't done? We haven't done any Florida. We haven't done Miami or Orlando.
Oh, yeah. Let's do Orlando. Kissimmee. I went to Kissimmee once. It was great. You'd be $200 poorer if you move from Orlando to Austin. Okay.
Okay. So
what about
that gives
Miami?
us some context right there. Maine is not Miami, but
Miami, you would be $9,900 richer if you move from Miami. Oh, here's another good one. Let's see if it'll let me pull it up. Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Look at that though. Like everybody moving. I'm going to move to Miami. It's so much cheaper. $10,000 richer staying here.
That's like Starbucks every day.
And you don't have to get a Brazilian butt lift there or here.
You don't have to, but it's highly recommended.
What were we just saying? Baton Rouge, not Baton Rouge. Boca Raton.
Could do that while if Christina's still here.
Boca
Raton.
No, I don't think it's gonna pull it.
Naples.
Oh yeah, Naples is a good one. I saw John Daly smoking a cigar. Smoking a cigarette in his Bugatti in Naples when I was there. You'd be richer if you stayed in Austin instead of moving to Naples. I actually want to move to Naples. I liked Naples. It was nice.
Really?
I liked Naples. It was fun. Let's see, Florida. Where else? Gainesville. Let's do
Yeah, Dan, you're probably right. I doubt that it would include the insurance rates.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody was crying about insurance when I was there, so it made me not want to move to Florida.
Yeah, we did Atlanta already.
Atlanta was
close.
Yeah, it was close. Punta Gorda, Florida. Where am I going? I'm going to Florida.
Puerto Rico. Is that in there?
Is it?
I don't know, but it'd be wonderful if it was.
Buffalo
Connecticut would be
Buffalo.
interesting.
Yeah, Connecticut would be interesting. I
Yeah.
still want to. We still need to get to Seattle. What about? Okay, start dropping the comments for Connecticut. How much more expensive is Connecticut than Austin? We already know it's going to be expensive. Sebastian Vero Beach. Which one do I want to do here? Let's do Ocala. Oh yeah, you'd be way poorer moving from Ocala to Austin. All right, let's do Seattle. Seattle Seahawks suck. You would be
Wow.
12%.
Is that the highest?
No, that's not the highest.
We had a
No.
15,000.
Somewhere in California was higher. I think San Diego was higher.
Yeah, this is Northeast California, right?
$14,600. Oh, I was trying to anecdotally, Ian. I have a client that moved to Austin from San Diego. They moved, went back to San Diego, and now they're trying to move back because they hate San Diego. They hate California.
Interesting that they hate San Diego.
Well, they have family there, and they had rental properties that they moved back into, but their job moved them back.
Yeah,
Seattle's 50 more percent.
I had a client that defected back to California, redefected.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of clients coming up that are looking to leave. So
yeah.
maybe that's a video we do in the future.
We've got a realtor buddy who he came here and he was doing all right, lived in Round Rock for a bit, and then had like a 7th baby and had to go back to California.
Is it quarried land in the quarried land? Is it what I'm thinking of is up by Leander?
Yeah, there's a rock quarry in Georgetown right along 35.
Yeah, CP's moving to Florida thinking it'll be cheaper and seriously misinformed. I think that was one thing that I found interesting when I was in Florida is it's not as cheap. These stats probably don't even include soaring insurance. Yeah, you said that. I'm actually shocked at Miami before the pandemic. It was considered cheap. How about Atlanta? We did Atlanta. The thing is, none of this really matters if your budget is below your means. I mean, if we switched, Connecticut is cheaper than Austin. No way, Aaron. Let's Rochambeau for it. No way, Connecticut.
Rochambeau.
Let's see. Which place did he say in Connecticut?
Oh, no, Las Vegas. I'm curious about that. Virginia Beach. I was born there.
I bet Las Vegas is cheaper.
Nobody cares.
Yeah,
but it's
you'd be
cool
poor. You'd be poor. $4,500 poor if you move from Las Vegas to Austin.
Yeah, but they got no property taxes.
Yeah.
Them in Tennessee, no property taxes.
What did they say? Greenwich.
Don't accidentally put Green Bay, Wisconsin. Nobody wants to go there.
How is Connecticut?
I was just in Hartford. Ugh. That you want to talk about I'm not going to say a gross city too loud.
There we go. If you would be $1,700 richer if you moved from Hartford to Austin. Let me just put in CT and see what pops up. CT. Hartford, Bridgeport. Here we go. You'd be $5,800 richer if you moved from Bridgeport to Austin. There you go. Try Hartford. Chicago. We did Chicago, didn't we?
Yeah. Detroit.
Chicago. Yeah. Oh, Detroit. That's a good one. Chicago, just because I forgot what it was. Chicago was $5,400 richer moving from Chicago. What did you just say a second ago? What were we going to do?
Detroit.
How about those Lions fans getting a first win of the season? You would feel $3,900 poorer if you moved from Detroit to Austin, but you'd have Detroit style pizza.
Mm-hmm. We have that. We have Via 313 here. It's good.
Via 313 is good. It's not my favorite pizza here. Yeah, we did Bridgeport.
Yeah, but I mean, for Detroit style, what's better here?
I don't know. Detroit style. Yep. Nope. I'm not the pizza guy.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. We're at an hour. Ian, thanks for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you subscribe if you
everybody.
haven't. Share this channel with people. Tell people to come use Ian or I in this amazing time in real estate to invest. So we'll see you later. Have a good one.
Use us.